Welcome to the 127th edition of Make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. I am Tigerhite.
And I'm Peanut Gallery.
So, obviously the big news is going to be coming later, but let's get on my soapbox because there is a little bit to talk about as it relates to the show. It is the numbers first because numbers are important. It was a 1.459 million instead of a 1.467 and a 0.49 instead of a 0.44. So the demo is way up significantly, but the viewership is slightly down. The whole thing with Drew McIntyre and his explanation is weird. He is not a member of Judgment Day. He decided to help the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. For what reason is it's literally because of Jey Uso and how Solo Sikoa and his family screwed him out of the WWE champion at Clash of the Castle. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. That's
so old news at this point.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can understand if he was going after Solo.
Right.
Because Solo was the one who was directly involved in the attack. But why Jay? And
right.
It doesn't make any sense. Shinsuke Nakamura and Chad Gable had a fun match. I like the back and forth with the Miz and Gunther. Gunther is getting a lot better at promo, which I am quite happy with. There was a number one contenders match for the women's tag champions. Not really anything there. Overall, the show was fine. The main event was Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso in a War Games Advantage match. So that's cool. And that's when they announced that Randy Orton is returning. But we'll talk about his return later. Let's go into NXT. NXT dropped a lot, actually. It was 622,000 instead of 703, and it was a 0.19 demo instead of a 0.21. So a significant drop, but that's kind of usually where they're at without like big stars anyway. So there you go. We had a women's championship main event, which I thought was actually kind of good. Lyra Valkyria is starting to grow on me. And really everything else, there was the Iron Survivor Challenge match with Blair Davenport and Thea Hale. It was fine. The good one was the one, no, not with Wesley. It was Carmelo Hayes and Josh Briggs, where Josh Briggs actually won the match. It was with some shenanigans by Lexis King, but Josh Briggs still won the match. And Noam Dar defended the Heritage Cup against Chad Gable, which was a good match, but you can't necessarily go wrong with those two, and everything else was just kind of filler. There was not really a whole lot to talk about. Nothing too out of there, but at the same time, why have Xia Li lose 2 matches? Because now she looks like a dork. Okay, Dynamite. I believe Dynamite was slightly lower on demo and stuff, but for some reason I did not record it. I have no idea why. So, the start of the Continental Classic happened. And I made this point, and people said that I'm racist somehow. Of the 3 matches, this one was the curtain jerker match, and it was by far the best one out of the 3. That was the main event, and that was in the middle of the card. What is different in this? And we have seen this pattern over and over and over again. Why is Swerve Strickland in this tournament for a different title? He should be going at the main event, especially after TMZ picked up about the Texas Death Match.
Right. If he's on mainstream news, he should be going after the world champion at this rate.
And at this point, there's no reason for him to go after anything else other than the AEW world champion, because right now, there is no direction for the AEW world champion other than Samoa Joe.
Right.
That's the
but
only
no one cares. Samoa Joe's a whatever sandwich at this rate.
You already had that match. We already had Samoa Joe and MJF for the title. Why do we need to see it again? There's no reason for it. And now, and then Swerve should be the clear contender.
Right.
He won the match. He won pretty much the marquee match of that entire show, and he's somehow playing around with this Continental Classic Championship belt that they're introducing another fucking title.
Right.
Great. Other than that, there was nothing significant. We were about to watch the Triple Threat Women's match because that shit was ass, but I actually thought of a worse match, and it's not as long. So there you go. Impact Wrestling, they did have a match, but it was that turkey suit match, and it was only one match, so I'm not going to waste my time. Smackdown. where we had a little bit of tension with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair after their tag match. It was the main event. Shotzi she actually did quite well at Survivor Series, but this entire segment was cringe. She's trying to be the Joker, and she's not the Joker. It's just it's
kind of weird.
It's not hitting it for me. Carlito was kicked out of Survivor Series. Peanut Gallery said that it was strictly kayfabe. I'm not sure if that is true or not.
It's pretty much. I think it's just a kayfabe taking him out because they wanted Dragon Lee to take the L against Santos Escobar.
I see. Because I guess Dragon Lee could eat the L before Carlito, and Santos really needed to justify him doing the heel turn.
Right.
But at some point in time, you're going to have to do Santos versus Carlito.
Oh, it's going to happen. They're probably saving it for Rumble, though.
That's just odd. It's a very strange decision.
Anyways.
It looks like Brawling Brutes are no longer going to be a thing. And then Judgment Day retained against the Street Profits. I wish they did not do that match in the first place. And let me explain. The Street Profits were getting all of these big wins. And they clearly don't want to take the titles off of Judgment Day yet, since Judgment Day is the leading thing on Raw currently.
But have them just lose one of the titles. There are still two different belts.
There are two different belts. They have two different lineages, and there's no reason for it. It's almost like the same thing with the Universal Champion and the WWE Champion. At least they made a singular belt for that title.
And now it's only one belt, and now there's only one lineage.
Oh, did they change it?
I think so.
Okay, it's not. It has not been changed on WWE's website.
Oh.
So it's kind of odd.
It is.
But yeah, it's just kind of strange. And then LA Knight and Kevin Owens took on A-Town Down Under. It was fine. I actually like this SmackDown overall. Oh my God. All right, Power. I've been giving Power enough praise, but this was a dog shit show. This was not any good. They chose this Tyler Midius guy who looks like a middle schooler over Paul Burchill to join the Spectaculars. Why would you do that?
Wow.
You would think that at the very least have another veteran that they chose instead of a person who probably has a C+ in pre-algebra. There's no reason for it. And that was also the main event, by the way. So I have no idea why the Southern Six and the new Spectaculars 1.0 they were the main event, but they were. CJ and Aaron Stevens had a turkey gobbler match. It was embarrassing, and it was very cringe. The only thing I can at least save about it is that CJ was very over with the crowd. But I think all of Magic Inc. is. And I think if you're going to have a new contender, Magic Inc. is going to be it.
Right.
Aaron Stevens is the manager for Blunt Force Trauma, who are the current World Tag Team Champions, and Magic Inc. and CJ are over with this crowd. They think they're the clear contenders. Are they the best team in the world? No. But are they the most over team right now? Yes. And that's who should be going after Blunt Force Trauma. Oh, God. Okay, so the slime balls. I have no idea what Billy Corgan saw in these two, but they look like botched school shooters. They were horrid on the mic. Their energy was manic at best. And I'm like, oh, my God, did the 90s step into my screen? Can you get them? It was like the worst part of the 90s. It was really bad. I'm like, they probably listened to Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and write in their diaries about how miserable their lives are. But it was just so bad. This whole show from top to bottom was just, God. I mean,
hopefully this is only a one-off sort of thing. It doesn't become a recurring pattern.
I really hope so too, because the other two shows were perfectly acceptable. I didn't like EC3 defending the championship on a random Power, but at least the other stuff on that show was fine. So that was pretty much it for me. Peanut Gallery, do you have anything else to add?
Nope.
All right, so when we come back, Peanut Gallery, what are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about the end of being the Elites.
All right.